What's up YouTube, Golden DJ here. Today's video is going to be the best settings in Apex Legends on PS4. Now, that is why you're probably watching this video. So let's just get right into the settings. We're just going to go through this quickly and try to explain the important stuff. So interact prompt style, just default whatever you want. Button hints, on or off, doesn't really matter. Crosshair damage feedback. This is where I prefer the X with the shield icon. Damage numbers, okay, everybody's gonna have their preferences, but you could have the stacking, which shows combined number of all recent damage. So like, it'll show like, you hit the guy several times, it'll show like 120 damage. And like the floating, it shows how much damage you do each shot. And then both of them combined is too much numbers, so it kind of messes you up. You don't know exactly, because you got like 15 damage, 120, you don't know what damage you're doing. But stacking numbers is good for people that want to know exactly how much health their opponent has left, while floating, it tells you how much damage you have per shot, which I prefer. So I know like, oh, I did 50-50, you know, I know how much health they got left. But stacking also helps that, so you don't have to do too much math. You could be like, I hit the guy for 100, he had a white shield, so he has 50 health left, you know. Like, you hit 100 damage total. And that's all we need to know about damage numbers. Now the ping optimacy, I have it on default, and I don't really care about the faded. And this is, you know, just leave it on, nothing important. Incoming damage feedback, I like both. I want to know exactly where I'm getting shot at and everything else. So I'd recommend running both, so you know exactly where you're getting shot at. I have streamer mode, killer only, don't matter if you're not a streamer. You should share it to EA, so you know they know what you're doing, what the problems are, and then all this, you know, if you're colorblind, etc., we know that's important. Now let's get into the controller layout. So I run mine on default, and people probably think I'm crazy because they don't want their crouch and stuff, but this is what I prefer because I've gotten used to it. And then if you have a scuff controller, you can change all these up to something you prefer, but this is going to go for everyone that what they prefer. Now, the stick layout, I have it on default. Interact, I like the reload button, tap to use, and reload. I don't want to hold anything, I want to tap it. So I run both, tap, and it's quicker, so you don't have to hold any square button, alright? This I want on toggle. Now, what hold does, when you hit it, it's going to stay in that position, then like you have to hold circle. So like, my crouch is circle, so I'm going to be holding it to crouch, and then as soon as I let go of circle, it's going to stand back up. I like mine toggle, so I don't have to keep holding a button. I'd rather have my finger on the joysticks. Now, aim and button, ADS is the same thing as what I just said. You would have to toggle, but it's really weird if it's toggle, alright? A lot of FPS shooters are not like that, so you're probably going to run it on hold. Now, sensitivity, this is where the main stuff is. I run my sensitivity on 5 and then 4 ADS. I used to have it on 5.5, but I've been trying out the 4 ADS just to see if I'm more accurate. So if you want to run these both the same, it makes sense. Now, this is all personal preference, but I'd say you want a decent high sensitivity in this game. You don't want to be too slow, or you're not going to be able to snap on to people that are shooting you on the left or the right, and you got to like swing your cursor over. So you want it on decent sensitivity because it is a fast-paced game. Now, this response curve, a lot of people don't know what this whole thing is about. Alright? So I'll show you what it's about in a little bit. Alright? We'll go over that in a little bit. So we got the look dead zone, can prevent you from drifting and touching the stick so your stick doesn't drift for some forbidden reason. So I just have that on small. Small. Off. Video, you know, I have my field of view at 100. And audio, just letting you guys know, if you are a content creator, the reason we have music volume off and lobby music volume off is because they're copyrighted for some forbidden reason. And so we'll get copyright claims. So I have these turned off, so that's why you guys don't hear any volume right now. Alright? So we're going to go into more detail about this response curve right now. We're going to go to training. And while we're headed to training, make sure to drop a subscribe and like and turn on the notification bell for more Apex Legends videos that will help you improve your gameplay. Let's get right into it. Alright, you guys, we made it through the beginning basic training stuff, so now we got the gun and stuff, and I'm going to show you what these whole response curves are like. See how steady this is? This is steady. This is what I run on. This is probably the best one. And now we're going to show you each and every other one. Now, classic is also good also if you're used to regular shooters, but the point is, like, look, I'll show you the response curve. So you see this? It's how quickly you respond to your joystick and how touchy it will be. See, this one's pretty steady and classic are almost pretty similar. So they're both worth running. And now we'll show you the other stuff you shouldn't be running. Alright. Fine aim for gradual adjustments. So this one's going to be really slow. Look how slow it is. This one's going to be more slower. So it's going to be harder to snap on to people unless you get used to it. So this could be useful for people that have not the greatest aim in the game, that aren't used to like high sensitivity aiming. But now if you're just a crazy person and you run high velocity, look how touchy your joystick is. Like, it's going to be a pain in the butt to aim, alright? Like, just look at me turning around. Like, look how touchy that is. I barely touch it. It's like instant response too, and well, it's a pain in the butt to aim at anything. Put it that way. You have to really be like aiming straight at it, or you're just gonna miss everywhere. So I would not run high velocity unless you're some crazy person. And then you got the linear, which is and it kind of drags. It'll drag your controller too. That's why you need the look dead zone if you run linear, because it will actually go like this. All on its own. So don't run this setting either. Those are what the response curve is about. It's all about how your stick input is like immediately it'll has a velocity so acceleration, so it speeds up over time, but it starts out slow. So I'd recommend make sure to run steady or even classic. The other one's a little too crazy unless you could run fine aim if you don't have the greatest aim and you don't plan on snapping onto other people. Now, this is all the settings we've gone over, and I hope this video helped you guys out, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.